All right. So with all that being said, justifying angle relationships is an interesting thing. So what they want us to do is to do the tracing paper, and we can do the tracing paper, but I'm recording this video so you guys can look at it later. If you're curious later, I do have some tracing paper and we'll go through and do this activity. But if you were to have some tracing paper and you took and you measured angle A, right, which is this angle here. Well, it says angle 1. I'm sorry, I misspoke and said angle A. That angle there, that's the one that we want to measure. Whoops. So I'll draw it. Angle 1 is from here. Oh, it's the same color as the thing. Let's make it a different color. Angle 1 is this angle right here. Okay, if you measure that angle and then take the tracing over to here, to angle 5, you'll see that they're the same angle. Okay. Now, because even though we're not doing the tracing, whoops, let me put this back over here. What I can do is make my angle very similar to the one that we have here. So I'm going to move my lines so they're parallel. They look like they're parallel like this. And I'm going to guess that this one, does that look pretty close? What do you guys think? That's pretty close. But what I want you to notice is the corresponding angles, no matter what I do, if I rotate it this way, this is 104.4, this is 104. Notice that they're always the same. Do you see that in real time? They're always the same. Now this number is supposed to be over here. I don't know why it's way over there. Somehow I got moved. Oh, that's why. Okay. Do you see that? So they're always going to be the same. So let me lock in a number that has an integer value. Let me move this over a little bit too. There we go. And so what do you know about angle 1 and 5, the corresponding angles? What would you say? Do they appear to be congruent? Yes. Whoops, let me draw this in here. Yes. They are congruent. Now it says using tracing paper, compare all 8 angles in the diagram, list all the congruent pairs. So, remember I said big equals big? Well, what are the big angles if you look at this? Well, let's start with, we know that 1 and 5 are, so we're going to say 1, angle 5, what else? What's that? 4 and 8. Angle 4 and angle 8. Now, what you can do is you could draw an arc on all those. So if I draw an arc like this and an arc like this, well, I need to zoom in. That's the fancy geometry way of saying that they're congruent. I'm just going to draw a circle because they're across from each. Well, no, I can't draw a circle. I got to do it like this. So I'm just going to use orange. If you draw an arc like this and an arc like this, a perfectly drawn arc, and an arc like this and an arc like this, I'm saying that those angles are congruent. Okay. Another way you could do it too, if you wanted to, is I could do it like this. Whoops, wrong one. So if I go like this, and then from here, whoops, and here. So those are congruent, okay? And let's do example number 1 then together, and then I'll let you get to work on your homework. So it says, find the measure of angle 2 when M is 125. Well, 7 is 125, so I'm going to put 125 here. Can you guys see that? Maybe I'll change the color. So this is 125 degrees, okay? So now, is 2 a big angle? Yes. So this is 125 degrees. So because they're alternate exterior angles, and you could say big equals big, because they're both big angles, they're both obtuse. 2 is going to be congruent to 7. Now they're asking us to figure out what angle VWZ. So when they say VWZ, that means I'm going to go from V to W to Z, and then they want YVW. Well, they're saying that this is equal to 180, so in order to get the answer, I have to add them up. In other words, I'm going to say VW, this is 3x degrees plus 6x degrees is equal to 180 degrees. So that's what they did. They plugged it in. What do we do? Combine like terms, right? What's 3x plus 9x? Or I said the answer. What's 3x plus 6x? Sorry. 9x. So now what do I do? Next thing I'm going to do is I got to divide both sides by 9. Now I get x is equal to 20. Oh, good. The answer is 20, right? Does that tell me the measure of the angles here? But x is equal to 20. I did a bunch of algebra. I'm super smart. I got to plug it back in, right? So if this measure of this angle is 3x, then I have to multiply 3 times 60. In other words, this angle here is 60 degrees. And what do you think this one would be? Well, it'd be 6 times 20, right? What's that equal? 120 degrees. What's 120 plus 60? 180. Very good. Oh, that's okay. All right. I don't know why they didn't figure out. Oh, did they just ask what that angle was? Yeah. They just wanted to know what that angle was. All right. You ready? Let's do this next one. Are you ready? It says measure each angle. Okay. Now, this is interesting. To find the measure of these angles, what do you know about 4x and 6x? Well, this is a small angle, and this is a big angle. What do we know about small and big angles? Yeah, so 4x plus 6x has to add up to equal 180. Below this, Mr. Adams. Shout out to Otis. So anyways, 4x plus 6x equals 180, right? So I combine like terms. I get 10x equals 180. Now what do I do, guys? Maybe try to divide by 10. Yep. So we divide by 10 and we get x equals 18. The thing is, though, this is 4 times 18. So I'm going to say 4 times 18. What's that? Does anybody know off the top of their head? 32 plus, that's 72, isn't it? Somebody do it on a calculator and double check. Sometimes Mr. Adams makes a mistake. 4 times 18. And then what is 6 times 18? 112? Or no, wait. Yeah. No, 118, right? No, that can't be right. 108. 108. I knew it was something. 6 times 12 is 108? I actually said 18. Oh, it's 18. I wrote the wrong thing. That's why. Yeah, 6 times 18 is 108. That makes sense, because 72 plus 108. So now they want to find the measure of GDE. So I go to G to D to E. That is 72 degrees. Then they want BEF, that's this one, that's 108. Now the last thing they want to know is CDG. Well, this angle and this angle are congruent because they're alternate exterior angles. So this is 108. Big angle equals the big angle. Okay? Any questions on that? So I think what I want to do is I'm going to leave this up. I want you guys to work on the guided practice for a few minutes. Okay? Then we'll go over them together.